Welcome back to the channel. My name is A-Bomb. We are back with Football Manager 2019 and Eastern Resurgence with Berliner FC Dynamo, and it's the start of season number 7 with the club and our very first season in the Bundesliga. We are in the top flight of Germany after winning promotion last season as champions of the Zweite Bundesliga. We are going to be playing a match today because I've got 11 transfers to show you, plus players that have left the club. So it's going to be just transfers today and talking about pre-season and the one cup match we played. Next episode I will be doing a double live com. We're going to play the first 2 matches of the season, and they are matches away against Mainz, and then our first home game of the season is against Schalke. So 2 matches next time to make up for it, but today we're just going to go through our transfers, pre-season fixtures, and the match we played in the German Cup. Looking at the season preview, no surprise to see that us and fellow promotees 1860 Munich are favourites to get relegated. Bayern have still got Joshua Kimmich, Christian Pulisic still at Dortmund. Some sort of real players here, but some younger players. I'm pretty sure that Vita Arp is one of the top players in the team, 24-year-old striker, who does look very, very good. 26 goals for Leipzig in the Bundesliga last season, so he's going to be a difficult one to contend with when we face Leipzig. Bayern also have Matthijs de Ligt at centre-back, of course the Ajax player at the moment, but he has joined Bayern. Actually joined him right at the start of the save, actually. 26 million. He's going to be a lot more than that if he goes this season. Going to be like 60 million, I think. But he is very, very talented. De Ligt. I think it's de Ligt. Very good player. They've also still got David Alaba, so their defence is pretty similar. Kingsley Coman also still there, so some big players still at Bayern. I wonder if Lewandowski's still there. Yeah, he still plays for Bayern. 36 years old, and he's still playing a fair few matches, still getting goals at this sort of late stage in his career. Other players here that I recognise: Divock Origi's at Wolfsburg, Timo Horn still at Köln. David Klaassen, I know that name. Gabriel Barbosa's down here. I mean, if this was FM13, I'd be very excited because he was a big wonder kid sort of a few years ago when he was still playing for Santos. Moved to Inter, and now he's at Eintracht Frankfurt. Okay, so we've had, as you can see, a lot of players leave the club after their contracts expired. Some players that had some potential, but that hasn't quite been realised. So we'll go through all these, and then we'll look at who's been brought in, and 1 or 2 sells as well. So Dragan Urkic has been a solid player for us since, I think, season 2 he was brought in. He became a bit of a player sort of late on, as his ability didn't really match that of the division we were in. But it started very, very well, got a good number of assists, got a few goals as well. So a good player for us, but yeah, his time was up. And the same with Erdal Akdari, who has joined Hatayspor, who I guess they're a Turkish side. And again, a player that was very good for us, and never thought he would be. He was always that sort of 2.5-star, 3-star player, but he was good for us in that he could play both left back and centre back. So he played sort of a couple of positions for us, and for the most part was a very solid player. But again, much like Urkic, didn't feature nearly as much in his most recent season. Rafe Jusic, goalkeeper. Don't think he ever played a senior game for us. No, he didn't. We got him on a free transfer just as a backup keeper to Hendel. And he never played a senior game for us, but he's gone. Burim Hilali also been released, the centre-back. He's still a free agent. Again, it's a player that was kind of always going to be like a backup player, but I say that second season there, 2020-21, 31 matches played, 26 starts. He did sort of become a starting player because of his form, and got the odd goal as well. Halbrook had a loan spell at Babelsberg last season before coming back to us just as, again, a backup option. That's all he ever was, a backup, very rarely played. Same with Beinlich. He had potential, Beinlich. He could have been like a 4.5-star player, but again, that was never really realised. He only played 7 matches for the first team and scored 1 goal. And went on loan to Babelsberg for a bit and did a bit better there. Mittelstadt's one that I'm sort of really gutted about. His contract was up, and yeah, he just never really realised the potential. He had a really good season. What was it? Season 3, I think it is. 5 goals scored, but he only played because of injuries and suspensions to other players. That's how he found himself in the team. So that's why he got that high rating. That's why he got goals. After that, he didn't play as much. He got 12 appearances last season, but again, that was because of injuries and stuff. So it's a shame that he never really realised his potential. He was a good young player for us. Igor Greco is the one that I sort of regret the most because he came in on our very first youth intake and was a really good prospect, But I very, very rarely played him. I think he got, what did he get? 3 games for the first team in 3 seasons. So that's unfortunate. It's completely my fault that this guy didn't realise his potential, because he had it, but his attributes just weren't. His technical attributes, they're not terrible, but not great either. So that's just why he wasn't really played, and we always had centre backs available, so he's never really got a look in. The last one I'll mention is Maximilian Thiele. He actually scored last video. His first appearance for the first team, not actually true because he played a few games in the 4th and 3rd divisions, but scored in his only appearance last season. In that last game of the season, he came off the bench for Brasnich and scored. Again, a player that had potential but never really realised it. That's the thing. It's lots of lost potential. Bauer and D'Souza also released, but they were never going to feature. One sale to show you, one that I really didn't see coming, is that Furkan Tezürek, the Turkish striker, has gone to Osmanlıspor, and it's over £1 million, £1.3 million. I think it's like 950k up front, and then the rest is sort of add-ons and stuff like that. Like, I didn't expect someone to come in for this guy. He wanted a new contract because he said his ability was a lot more than it was when he first joined, which I kind of agree with, but he was all right for us. Couple of seasons, he got 12 goals over 2 seasons. For a player that didn't start that often, that's not too bad. But if someone bids over £1 million for one of your players, which is pretty much what our transfer budget was at the time, then you've got to accept it, really. So that's what I did. So we have gone out and replaced him. We've got a number of players been bought in. But yeah, Tezürek has gone. I didn't see it coming, but if someone's bidding that much for a player, then I've got to sell him, really. So 11 players have been bought in. We'll start off with a couple that were sorted out sort of around February, March that I haven't shown you yet. So we'll go through those first. We'll start off with Jörn Dudek, who is a central midfielder. He was signed on a free contract from Bayer after his contract was running up. And yeah, he's got 2-star current ability. He's got, well, 4-star potential now. It was 5 when we signed him, but it's kind of dropped a little bit. But he doesn't look too bad. His attributes are all pretty good. He's fairly determined. Some good mentals in there, some good physicals. Good on his free kicks, good technique, good passer. Like, he's really only going to be in the second team. I can't see him playing in the first team very much, but I guess we could play him if we absolutely have to. We also got in Frank Kanker from Kaiserslautern, £95,000, centre-back. Some good attributes in here. He's got 4.5-star potential. Physically, he looks good. He's brave. He's got decent decisions. His marking's good. Only going to be a backup centre-back. We'll play him if we need to, but I think we have like 5 or 6 central defenders that I think are good enough to play for us in the first team. So I don't think he'll get much football, but I've got no problem giving it to him if we need to or if he wants it. And then the players that we've brought in over the new transfer window, we'll start off with George Cooper. Doesn't sound like a German name, but he's actually German-born and from America. So very much like Bruce Willis. He was born in Germany, but he is American. So it's the Bruce Willis of the team, George Cooper. He's a left-back. Not great in the air. He's not especially tall, 9 heading. Marking and tackling is not too bad. Very brave, physically very well-rounded, aggressive. So, yeah, at left-back, he's going to be playing behind Markowski. We don't have Husic this season. I've decided not to loan him again because I thought we'd try and buy someone better. But it's been very hard to get left-backs. It's one of the hardest positions to sign, I think, full-back. It's very hard to find one that really suits you, the one that's good. So, Cooper's in. £20,000, very cheap fee from Chemnitz. Yeah, he's in, and we'll see how he does. Georgie Turns is in next. He's a centre-back. He's Dutch. I know I said I tried to sign German. That's not a rule that I'm tying myself down to. I do it when I can, but if there's a Dutch player or a foreign player that I think will fit in, then I'll do it. Because we've got Ricky Uli, he's Portuguese. We've got this guy, he's Dutch. I'm not setting myself to that rule of it must be German. It's just a guideline. But Turns is in. He came from Vitesse. It's a £475,000. So we are starting to spend a lot more money now that we had like £2.5 million transfer budget after we moved stuff around. So we can start paying stuff like this for players now, and that's a good fee for this guy, I think, from Vitesse. He's got some good attributes. His heading's good, and he's 6'2", so he's a player that's pretty good in the air. Marking's alright at 11, tackling's very good at 15. Anticipation, I like that as well. Positioning. Looks like a very solid centre-back, fairly professional as well. We also have a Belgian centre-back, only 16, so big future, from KRC Genk. £525,000 for a 16-year-old player. That's an awful lot of money, but if he realises that potential, he could be very good. He's from Genk, and yeah, Some of the attributes are good, some not so good. I'm not sure about this one actually. That's a lot of money for this player, but promising centre-back. Another one, I think we've signed 4 centre-backs because we had a lot go. I think from 2 seasons ago, we don't have any central defenders that we used to have. So it's a completely different back line. But Ivo Dramac is next. He's Swiss. He's come from FC Thun, £250,000. 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. Tackling the 15 is very, very good. He's very brave. Determination is very good. Physically, very well rounded again. 17. One more centre back to show you. Salih Karabalu. He is Turkish, but he last played for Paderborn. It's £200,000. 3.5-star current ability, 4-star potential. Again, heading's not great, but he's tall and he's got good jumping reach, so he can at least do stuff in the air. Marking and tackling is pretty good. Mentally, he's not too bad. Again, physically, very, very good and very strong. So a bit more of a sort of a physical presence at centre-back. Could be a no-nonsense centre-back, I think. I think him and Riccioli might be our starting pair, but we do have Osterman on loan again from Bayern. So 3 solid centre-backs that we can choose from. We're back. Liverpool match on. Last game of the season, so I had to watch it. We'll crack on. Loan signing next from Fortuna Düsseldorf. Interesting one. And Nenad Djordjevic is signed, 20-year-old. He's a cam. I never use cams in my tactic, but this might be the start of a change in system for us. I have sort of changed the tactic a little bit. We're still very much playing the same shape, but there might be a little bit of a change up. So Djordjevic is in, just as an option if we want that. If we don't use it, we can just terminate as loan. So that's fine. And he looks very solid for that sort of, he's like an attacking playmaker, attacking midfielder. He looks very good. Technique of 16 is nice. Good dribbler, good first touch. Mentals are very good. Physically good. He's pacey. He's agile. He looks like a good player. Whether we can make use of him, we'll have to wait and see. But that option is there for us if we need it. It's only like £900 a week wages that we have to pay. So it's not a massive hole in the budget. And if it doesn't work out, we can just send him back to Düsseldorf. And then up front, we have got 3 new forward players. Of course, Tajurek's gone. We've got Cabella. We've got Fuchs. And that's pretty much it now. So, yeah, we needed some more firepower up front. And we've got Andy Zeffy, 18-year-old striker, scored a hat-trick in our cup match, which I'll show you in a minute. 3.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. And hopefully can bring us some goals up front. Brasnic is still here. And yeah, he's gonna play in the Bundesliga and see if he can get double figures again. 15 is the fewest goals he scored this series. We'll see if we can do that again, but he might have to share that amongst our other strikers. We'll see. Zeffy, technically is okay. Header's not too bad, but he's only 5'11". Mentally very good. Physically strong, fairly quick, good stamina. So he looks like an alright striker, and well, he scored 3 goals, but that was against a team in the 4th division. So we'll wait and see what happens with Zeffy. Alexander Andreev has joined. He is a striker that we signed from Darmstadt, £110,000. Had a loan spell with Homburg in the 4th division a couple of seasons ago. Didn't play at all for Darmstadt apart from friendly matches. But for us, yeah, we've got him again as another option up front. Physically, very well rounded. Again, he's strong. He's 6'2". His header's not too bad, so he could be a decent target man option. Not very good running with the ball, but finishing's not too bad. First touch is pretty good. Mentally, he's okay. Again, just another option should we need it. He's on a 3-year deal. The issue now with Bundesliga is a lot of these guys are on like 3-4 year contracts. Some of these guys have got 4-year deals, which I'm not pleased about because if they don't work out, it's going to be hard to get rid of them. But Andreev's on a 3-year deal. He could realise his potential. He could be really good, but we'll have to wait and see once again. And then lastly, a striker on loan from Bayer Leverkusen, Sergio Leonardo Amentigi, who is German. I don't want to set a nickname, although he has got a fairly long name. I might have to shorten that some way. But he is Spanish as well as German. So he was born in Germany, but he has Spanish nationality, maybe for a parent or something. It's not really clear what that means. But once again, a good sort of advanced forward, could be a pressing forward, a very versatile forward, hopefully can be good. 6'4" as well. He's not great in the air. The 11's okay, but it's not fantastic. But other than that, physically he's good, a good balance, again fairly quick. Teamwork's good, the mentals are pretty well rounded, and some good technical ones as well, not bad on corners. Good bit of free kicks, that could come in handy. So yeah, again, lots of options up front, and if one doesn't work, then again, it's not too much of a issue. Like if this doesn't work out, we can send him send him back to Leverkusen. So that's everyone that's been brought in. There is still about a week left in the transfer window. I might try and get an extra left back in, maybe get Hazic back on loan again for a season if I can't find anyone. But I think apart from that, we are pretty much set. I think we've got a huge squad. If we have a look now, you can see just how big our squad is. Yeah, this is including some of the guys we have down in the under-21s, but this is pretty much the variety of players that we have to choose from this season. It's a pretty big squad. So yeah, that's good. Quick look at our pre-season results before we end things off, and the cup match, which I'll have a look at shortly. So 4-0 win against the under-19s, Kola with 2 and Fuchs with 2. 1-3-1 against SC Victoria, Brasnic, Selkos and Debelt scoring. A draw against Holstein Kiel, the only match we didn't win. Brasnic scored there. 2-0 against Werder 2, Greiser with both goals. A 1-0 win against Wolfsburg where he scored. Do you know what? Let's change his name. Just to make things easier, we're calling him Marcel. That just makes things a lot easier. So that was against Wolfsburg. So Marcel scored there. That just makes things much easier. 3-2 win against Anderlecht, Fuchs with 2 and Frankfurt with 1. A 1-0 win against Salzburg where Kohler scored. In the German Cup match, we faced Eltersdorf, a team in the 4th Division. They've just been promoted to the 4th Division actually, the Bavaria region. We won 4-0. We were expected to beat them and we did. But it was goalless in the first half and then we ran rampant in the second half. Fuchs scoring after about 20 seconds. And then a hat-trick from new signing Andy Zeffi, scoring on the 54th minute, adding a second to make it 3-0 on 74 minutes. And then in the 90th minute, scoring Dynamo's 4th and completing a hat-trick in his debut. So, solid start for him. And yeah, we are into the next round. And for once, we actually haven't got Bayern in the next round. We are going to be taking on Hannover 96 in round 2. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Like I said, not going to play a match today just because there's so many transfers to go through and pre-season as well. It would have been too long a video. But to make up for it, next video, I'm going to do a double live com. And our first 2 games of the season, we have got Mainz away from home. And then we host Schalke in our first league match. Looking at some of the big fixtures that we've got coming up. Hanover, we face back-to-back games in the league and then in the cup. We face Bayern in early November and Dortmund also in that month. That's a difficult November. And then we've got Mainz again before we go on our winter break. And we end with Wolfsburg and 1860 Munich, our last 2 games. So fellow promotees 1860, we face them the final day. And if we are expected to both go down, that could be a big sort of relegation decider at the end of the season. Could be a 6-pointer. If you enjoyed the video, do drop a like down below, leave comments, and if you want to see videos as and when they turn up on YouTube, do hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to receive updates if I upload or go live, and follow me on social media so we don't miss any of my content. It's going to be an interesting one. Like I don't know what to expect. We're being told that we're going to be relegated, but we've been told that every season, and we've defied the odds. So we'll try and do it again. But it's going to be significantly harder this season. So I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.